Hello, beautiful multi-dimensional beings, the angels incarnated into this physical 3D plane or the 3D plane. Welcome back, and hello if you're new to another channel reading and message for you, beautiful souls. I read for the rising souls in the collectives, the astral astronauts, the astral travelers, the daydreamers, the dreamers, the lucid co-creators, the souls living from a different space of conscious, heightened awareness in this timeline here, in this time of existence, throughout the timeline of whole existence. So, yeah, you guys get the point. You're in the right place. So, this reading and message today is all about. Ow! Just sat on my ankle. You guys, this reading and message today is all about how. This is quite interesting to actually even try to dive in to try and explain. You guys connect with different frequencies of energy inside yourself. Now, this part we've been over before. You guys channel messages, and you've always channeled messages. It's just that how we like to say, actually, this is how Spirit brought it through the other day, is that you guys, your mental astral space, your inner monologue space, your inner realm where you kind of speak to yourself in thought and things like this. This is a very much interesting space inside your mind, because you have an open gateway that is kind of allowing you to have this open door into the astral collective space, right? A higher level of thought chamber, which is almost like the internet. It's the collective mind space. It's the astral realm, the non-localization of consciousness. So you can be in this space of thinking, daydreaming, and you're connecting with that collective astral space. Now, a lot of you pick up on a lot of frequencies and energy that moves through the collective and the astral space. You pick this up inside, and you guys really should have some recognition for that, because it's very hard to, on the day-to-day, go about normal everyday life when we're also doing a lot of energetic spiritual work and being very receptive. You guys are very sensitive and receptive, meaning you're very finely tuned into subtle and complex frequencies of energy. And so on the day-to-day, you will have your maybe personal chakra system energies and levels and emotions and things like that, but you're also tapping into the collective energies, and we go through shared collective waves of energy sometimes. But also this means that whatever anyone's putting out into the collective, you will maybe feel that as an extra added overlay of blanket of weight over whatever energies you're feeling too. For example, there's been some very purging energies moving their way through the collective at the minute, which is really deconstructing and collapsing and asking a lot of people to collapse timelines, to take leaps of faith into new timelines, letting go. And when there's a lot of these types of energy move for the collective, you guys probably feel that as an extra layer of weird energy sat in your background space, in the background of your center, because that open doorway to the astral is basically having a lot of energy inside that's being emotionally signaled out by people and what they're feeling. And these deconstruction of timelines triggers the ego because our kind of security is threatened when we shift timelines. So you guys are focused on your energy and your path, and cleansing your energy and space and focusing on the things in your life that you love. But you may notice this lingering energies in the background sometimes because you're connected into that collective space. So again, we spoke about this before. This is like, you guys can be sat there, like, if the collective has a running timeline that we're moving through all together, and then we have our personal kind of timelines, right? Our individual kind of timelines, but you guys can feel and tap into what's going on collectively because you feel it. So that's what we were saying, like, people send out energy signals for what they're feeling. So let's say there's a wave of theme move through people's lives, they could all be sending out the similar type of frequency and you could be picking up on that. So this, you could be actually very much picking up on some energies of people around you, whether you associate it to them or not. You could have noticed some shifts in your energy recently, and know that you guys are very protected as well, though, because it's almost like your aura starts to do this thing. This is so interesting. Your aura starts to do this thing where, imagine aura being like fog or smoke. Your aura does this thing a lot of the time, you guys, where it turns like a bubble around it, like stretchiness around it. So it's almost as if normally our hand passes into people's aura like fog and smoke, but to you guys it's like pressing against a plastic bubble, right? Like people can be in your auric field and space, but maybe it's more like solidified or contained, or I don't know, it's like this bubble of protection. And I feel like a lot of you work with Archangel Michael, and that's why this happens, because you are operating in a 3D plane, which is really very intense, actually, you guys, for someone like yourself, being so tuned into energies not only on the outside of you but also internally. You guys are the shamans and the seers of the collective. Because of this reason, you're connected beyond yourself, you're connected to source, you're connected to the collective, to everyone and everything, and you have an awareness of this too, shared consciousness. And so you kind of enter these perceptions inside of yourself that are actually your aura expanding internally to encompass not just your energy field but a lot of the collective's energy field. And so you kind of feel it as your own a lot of the time. But we kind of got rambled off there, because that is not what this reading is about. So maybe somebody, maybe that was actually a channel message for specific people watching who maybe have noticed some certain shifts in energy recently or something. Know that you are doing collective work. When you like cleanse your energy and you breathe through things and you process certain complex emotions inside yourself, these complex frequencies of energy, you're also untangling for the collective, because we are all just consciousness interacting with consciousness, you know. We are all conscious energy that flows through everything, and in that conscious energy is the plasma, right? Life force, electricity, and inside of that is, you know, the light photons, light waves, and inside of that is the quantum realm. So everything is made up of the same conscious energy, and there's no localized space when we go into it. So I feel like you guys get lots of downloads like this, or downloads are also heightened at the minute. Your intuitive receptivity is heightened at the minute. So telepathies, oh, you guys, your energy is heightened at the minute, which also affects your magnetic field or your auric field, electromagnetic field. And some of you could be noticing weird or out of the ordinary occurrences because of certain shifts moving through the collective. You could notice that electricity, you're really feeling a lot of energy at the minute, and you feel this maybe very viscerally in your chakras, like a buzzing inside your body, almost as if you drank too much caffeine. You feel things very viscerally in your chakras when you come into other people's auric fields, or when you're entering certain spaces or places. You feel the energy physically because it's very dense. So you could feel like this buzzing inside of you sometimes. Maybe you can hear a buzzing sometimes. You have like this heightening right now of intuitive receptivity. So it's like, even if nothing's changed, the level that you're opened up to right now, it feels actually as if there's been a very deep heart chakra activation. And that leads us perfectly onto our message that we keep running away from, right? Because it leads on to the message, because there was actually a frequency come through. Now, I just say frequency come through. You could say frequencies come through, and frequencies are like angels, or it depends what frequency it is, right? It can be spirits, but they come through as frequencies of energy. We're all just energy. But this angel came through, and it was really beautiful, and I feel as if she's working on your team right now. And I say she because it was a frequency of the embodiment of the collective divine feminine, okay? So this is for you, masculine or feminine. We all have divine feminine and masculine inside of ourselves, but there is a pure divine feminine frequency working with you. One of the loops we got away from earlier that I want to put in now actually again is that you guys channel, because these are feelings or frequencies that come into your mind, And the more honed in we become on the astral space, the kind of more differentiated and clearer things get. So over time, these frequencies inside have gone from a feeling, okay, and then we've differentiated that feeling into maybe separating it from ourselves, okay, and actually recognizing that's a different frequency. And then that frequency of feeling starts to turn into certain specific thoughts, right? It materializes. This frequency materializes into feelings and thoughts. These thoughts, the stronger they become, the more that they move from a energy of yourself, or like a voice of yourself, to maybe shifting to a voice or a frequency that matches its energy, and it becomes maybe more differentiated yet again. So the whisper turns into very loud communication with you guys, and almost as if you're having a conversation. So these are the different stages of materialization. After it materializes from like voice, that's when it can start to become separate from ourselves, and we can start seeing it as an orb, or an actual spirit forming, or something like this, right? But you guys are quite far along in the materialization of frequencies that reach out to you in the astral, right? So a frequency will reach out to you, whether this is a spirit or a being or a this or that, right? And what level that is too, we'll speak about that in a second. Frequencies reach out to you, and you are along that stage of materialization where they can kind of come through to you to the point where they're separate from yourself, separate from your energy, and you can recognize that as separate from your energy. Before this, you've always been channeling, but before this, maybe it was at the stage before where it was very much not so differentiated between your inner voice or your thought energy and their frequency. So you're further along the materialization stages of spirits or frequencies wanting to move through you to communicate with you. And one of these things that we're going to be on about is that there's different levels of spirits or beings or deities and things like this, and how spirit wants to bring it through is imagine a tower of cups. You know, at weddings and stuff or events, people do that thing where they pour the drink in the top cup, and it's a pyramid of cups, right? Okay, so the pyramid of cups gets more and more the longer, like the further down it gets. We might have 10 cups on the bottom, then 9, then 8, then 7, then 6, then 3, then 2, and then the top cup, the 1. And it's like a fountain of drink. So you start pouring the drink in the cup, and this is how it's working as a frequency, depending on what drink it is. Okay, we're saying different drinks are different frequencies. So let's take, for example, some orange juice. We're taking orange juice and we're pouring it into that fountain of cups. It pours into the first top one. Now, this is the largest collective of frequency of that thing, right? It's at the top of the pyramid, and it's resembled by one unity, okay? One source, okay? The source of it is actually the orange juice, and let's say orange juice is a fire phoenix, fire energy. Let's say it's the element of fire frequency, action, okay? Or passion, right? That is a frequency. Passion or action, that's a frequency. So we channel frequencies through us, but frequencies also make up certain beings and spirits. So source frequency is the fire element. We pour that into our top cup, and that top cup, let's say, is the source frequency embodiment of that energy, okay? Meaning that you work with higher collectives of beings, higher collective of source beings. These can be seen as maybe Mother Gaia. When we say divine feminine or divine masculine, right? When we say maybe source or spirit or God or source consciousness, right? It's these larger collectives. So higher up deities are kind of larger groups of collective. Let's say beneath that one cup is 2 cups. Then these can be maybe a fire phoenix and a fire dragon, right? So, and then as we get lower and lower, we go to like, okay, now that fire phoenix energy has been materialized into separation, into more elements. Now we've got fire angels. Now we have archangels who work with the element of fire, or who embody the frequency of the fire element. All these different beings, we go further and further down, and they kind of split out, right? For example, you guys work with higher collectives of energy that you channel. So like we were saying, Mother Gaia is a very much higher source energy of collective, right? And it's kind of like these smaller collectives make up these source collectives, the same as like say light workers make up one source collective, or let's say no, we'll just leave that there. But okay, so you work with larger collectives, and one of them you're working with right now is the Divine Feminine, and she works with you through many different beings. For example, when she came through to me, this is how she wanted to explain it, because she was coming through as a pure Divine Feminine frequency, but she can come through in other forms, because she came through and she said, call me Aphrodite, you know, call me Angel of Love, you know, call me, like we say, Mother Gaia, or call me Mother Mary, Mother Magdalene, you know, call me all of these different things, but if they're the frequency of unconditional divine feminine love, then that's me. I am all of those things. The source of all of these beings is my frequency, and I inhabit and use these as a vessel, right? And the divine feminine works through vessels here on earth as well, the same as like all the emotions do, because all emotions are different frequencies. So different frequencies are different vibrational planes of dimension in the astral space. A dimension that you work with a lot is the divine feminine frequency, whether you are a male watching or a female. You are actually incarnated as a fracture of the divine feminine frequency. Again, whether you're a female or a male, this means that, wait, before we get carried away, yeah, you guys work with divine feminine frequency, but this is how she was coming through. She was saying like, I work with you in many different spirit forms, but it's kind of like this source energy. And this is what we speak about a lot too, about source consciousness, is the main energetic ball where everything is inside of it, right? Almost like the double slit experiment. Don't worry if this part doesn't resonate for all of you. For some of you it will. But like with the double slit experiment, one atom is fired out of, one light photon is fired out of that torch, let's say, for example, okay? And then that atom, as it goes along its journey, it turns quantum when it's not being observed. So this one atom splits into a wave, and that's kind of like, if we also simplify it, which is less accurate, but for explanation purposes, if we simplify it, that basically means that as this atom's traveling along, if it's not observed, it splits out into infinite. So imagine one star turning into the sky of stars. That is what this atom is like, right? It exists in all possible frequencies of timeline. So this is kind of how spirit was bringing it through with these energies. Each frequency is also, let's say, one form or ball of energy, the same as source consciousness. So inside of this exists infinity, exists all these different smaller things. The same as source conscious collective is projected out into separation between all of us people, but we are all part of the same whole, okay? It's the same as this. So you guys work with divine feminine frequencies, and not only that, she takes on the form of many different spirits, angels, and gods and deities that we have recorded and know here down on earth. And she also works through people. She works through people in many different ways. She works through people through creation. She gave some examples, you know, when you listen to a piece of music, you know, sometimes that can happen. People listen to like a singer, say they come on stage, and they make you cry, right? Because it's just so beautiful. That is an example of divine feminine frequencies being channeled, because divine feminine frequencies are healing, are, I would say, love. We can still have love in divine masculine, but divine feminine's the yin. It's healing, it's intuition, it's the subconscious. It's very soft and it's very gentle, because when this frequency came through to me, I had to be careful. I was like, it started coming closer to me in the astral, and the closer it became, the more I'd start crying, because it's almost as if it really cracks you open. Like, it's so soft and gentle that it makes you want to cry. This frequency feels that way, and this frequency works in different spirits and beings, a lot of them very beautiful frequencies of love, like we spoke about, Aphrodite, or sometimes angels as well. But she'll work through people in the collective, and she works through people a lot of the time through the frequencies of love. So, we often want to help heal or nurture something, right? And nurture, encouragement, healing, intuition, all these kind of concern, empathy. These are all divine feminine frequencies, and again, that's not restricted to gender at all. It's just that it's the curvy, it's the abstract, and the divine masculine is this straight and is the logical, and they are kind of counterparts to each other. But so we keep circling round, but so you're working with these divine feminine frequencies, man or woman, and this angel, this frequency kept saying that she's been incarnated so many times you just couldn't even comprehend, because there's two things, you guys. She works through people that say, like, healers, and she works through people dependent on their like job and their role and the situation that's happening. Basically any energies to do with like empathy, concern, healing, and intuition, emotion. She works with these pure energies, very pure frequencies. She say, like, when you hold a newborn baby and you start crying, or when you see a really, really cute puppy and it's just so innocent and pure and it just licks your nose when you're crying. Like, these type of energies is her frequency, and she works through everyone and everything all the time in the collective. But there's certain people who channel her frequency more. There's certain vessels she utilizes more, right? Because we're all just channeling energies and frequencies all the time, but it's different because we have a core frequency, and then we have our kind of other subtle frequencies. Let's say the core temperature of the earth stays the same, but the weather can change, right? That core temperature is a frequency. Your core frequency always stays the same, but your emotions can change. Or it's like your core body temperature can stay the same, but you can be hot or cold still on the outside. This is how it's kind of coming through, where she's saying she works through people with, say, the changing of weathers. Let's say she's sunshine in a lot of people's vessels or channels through them a lot, right, in these changings of the weathers. But there's certain souls incarnated who their core frequency is of her frequency. There's certain souls incarnated who hold and embody the core frequency from her energy of vibration. So she's basically incarnated into souls here on earth. A lot of these are healers, intuitives, seers, empaths, shamans, people who work in like maybe mental health fields, care fields, people who help others, people who like naturally are drawn to help others, people who have a lot of love, who have a lot of empathy. Like, you guys are incarnations of the divine feminine frequency, and this doesn't mean that you can't embody other frequencies like divine masculine or literally any other frequency. It just means at your core, that's the frequency that lays over every other thing that you do, right? So you guys are naturally very empathic and intuitive, and you guys are naturally the people who bring this energy to others of safety and comfort, because the pure divine feminine energy is so soft and safe. Okay, that it regulates people's nervous systems, it regulates our nervous system to be in the divine feminine frequency, and also it's very healing. And because she works through you and is your core frequency, you're an incarnation of that. Whether you're a father, whether you're a mother, whoever you are, it really doesn't matter. But you bring this energy that she brings because you are her, you are it. There's certain people who are incarnated with the core frequencies of chaos, because their role here to help all of us as one individual collective is to create chaos and destruction. Does this mean that you can channel chaos too? Yes, but it's not your core frequency. If you ever have to carry out chaos, you probably even still carry that out with empathy or higher awareness of love and concern, right? Whereas there's certain frequency, so our core frequency is kind of embedded over all the emotions we channel, because everyone is just would be the same, because we all channel different emotions but the same from time to time. Do you know what I mean? In different situations. So our emotions are really not doesn't make us who we are. It's our overlaid expression of how we choose to translate those emotions, and how we choose to translate those, or how we naturally translate certain emotions, is filtered through our core frequency. You channel all of your different frequencies that you go through, all these different energies that you channel through you throughout your day. You overlay your core frequency on them, and that is the divine feminine energy of love, intuition, okay, nurturing, encouragement, things like this. Again, whether you're a masculine or whether you're a female. And this means that when you're around people, they are benefited by your core frequency. Now, your core frequency is very healing. Because of this, it regulates the nervous system, this frequency. And that's what I was going to say earlier about that, is that people have no choice. Okay, like when we spoke about earlier, this deeper heart chakra awakening or opening, right? It's like divine feminine really cracks us open, because she's the pure embodiment of vulnerability. Now, if you're vulnerable in this frequency, and you're authentically embodying this frequency, there's no threat, there's no danger, it's all very safe, it's all very comforting, it's all very safe. So people's egos go to sleep, because the ego is the protector. And so if the protector in the body knows the protector's not needed, we're in a safe space, then the ego goes to sleep. Okay, which means that the body can deeper heal, because you and your frequency, or you yourself embody this frequency that takes you into these really low vibrations. And not low as in a bad way, low as in brainwave states, like delta brainwaves. And in delta brainwaves, this is the most restorative sleep cycle that we'll enter. And it means that we send out a hormone that can actually help us repair and heal our cells to a deeper level. So you guys, you're very healing on a cellular level for your frequency in your electromagnetic field, your aura. Your core vibration is carried around with you everywhere you go. And let's say the people who were incarnated as the divine feminine frequencies, you are very recognizable. I would spot you from a mile away, mostly because you're soul tribe, or we're from the same frequency. But you guys, I'd spot you from a mile away. You're the people that always show concern for the little things, for living things, no matter how small or big. You're the people who are always maybe considering other people's energy as well, and those that you love. You're very, very encouraging, and you're very uplifting to those that who are around you. You're always pointing out people's unconditional truths, like truths from unconditional love, perspectives from unconditional love. You guys are the safe space for others to be around as well, and you're very vulnerable, and people feel they can be vulnerable around you. And not only that, but you're cycle breakers, because let's say, personally for me, I had two divine feminine energies who brought me up. Like my mum was very divine feminine, so was my dad. I'd say even, it just depends. But in that way, you can still be a male and embody this divine feminine frequency, which is really healing. And there's a lot of people watching who are cycle breakers, who are really healing, open spaces for your children to shine into their fullest beautiful light, because you hold this frequency of divine feminine, which is extremely healing and creative and inspiring. And so, like I say, it's not that we can't channel other frequencies or energy, it's just that this is your core frequency. So divine feminine, this was probably one of the most significant experiences I've had channeling a kind of energy, because if you notice on here, we've done other readings about different frequencies. We've even done an Aphrodite reading before, and a lot of the time spirits will come through to me in these more ways from lower down, in that pouring of the cups fountain, right? Let's say a blue butterfly spirit comes through, that's probably right at the bottom of the glasses, because that blue butterfly to me is resembling the frequencies of communication, and that can also be Mercury, that can also be certain angels who are associated with communication, that can also be birds. Like, it's all split out, but they're the same frequencies, right? Like, there's certain beings and spirits who are the same frequency but in different vessels. And when we get to source energies, this is what's going on, is that a lot of the time we channel lower, more singularized frequencies, but you guys are connected to higher up source energies. So energies will come through to you at their source because you're connected with them at their source from this like higher level of perception, like when we talk about source consciousness. So yeah, it's also how we say in this reality you'll get synchronicities that are from certain spirits or beings. For example, let's say you're working with Lilith, right? You might get black crows come and materialize because they're the same frequency or from the same plane of frequency as her energies, right? What they resemble, what they symbolize, the energy they carry, right? So it's kind of like she can manifest herself in different forms and send you synchronicities, and she can also be incarnated into people as well. And that's not saying like you're not you as a soul, it's just that we're all vessels for energy here. We're all vessels for channeling certain frequencies. That's all we ever do. All we ever do is we are the riverbed for the river. And what is the river? It's energy, it's frequency, it's emotions, it's thoughts. And that river is water that will be passed from glass to glass to glass, from vessel to vessel. And so we're just kind of the conduits for the higher energies of frequencies that exist in the astral planes, that are kind of able to experience this plane through us in ways, right? Or that we create this plane, they create this plane through us. Like, we get to inhabit these vessels to co-create this physical plane through channeling these energies, because Divine Feminine makes a lot of art and makes a lot of creations. So she'll work through people to bring that frequency into the physical plane for it to be there. And all these energies do that as well. There's all these different energies and frequencies that do the same thing. And we are that too. Like, we speak about it separately, like Divine Feminine does this, but it's just us. We are just all energy and consciousness on different levels, so in different states of separation and different states of unity. And there are certain astral planes we get to where things become more unified, and there are certain planes that we get to where things are more separated. This physical plane that we're perceiving now is the most separated that it can be. It's physicalized separately, but the higher the planes we go, the more things merge into unity, because inside of ourselves, inside of you hold all of these different aspects of self and energies. And we could look at that in, say, astrology, all the different houses and planets, right? You hold that inside of you, but it's also outside of you as well. The same as these spirits and beings, it's like inside of them, their awareness, it's all of these different frequencies and energies. No, inside of us, sorry. It's all these different frequencies and energies, but we will channel one out for our vessel of certain ones. And they're also outside of us, the inner to outer mirroring of energy. Okay, as above is so below, right? We're each a leaf, but we're on the same tree. And there comes a point where those leaves become the trunk, which is the unity, right? This is what I'm saying. It's like, the separation doesn't end on the physical plane. This is not the only plane where there's separation. There's still levels of separation in some of the astral planes, because we have these different differentiations for the same frequencies of energy, right? Sorry I keep repeating you guys, but like we say, like with Aphrodite or the angel of love, or like a pink dragon spirit, or like fairy spirits, like these are just different embodiments of the same frequency. So there's still separation within certain astral planes, and we can go up and up and up till we get to the source energy, which is all of them encompassed in one whole together, which is kind of like what we talk about, the divine atom or the divine particle, or like with the Big Bang, that was one like concentrated energy that has exploded out into separation, but before that it was all inside of it. So it's kind of like that, but still now it's like inside of you is everything, but you've also exploded out as a collective to materialize everything that's inside outside. Yeah. So I hope that this reading brought some confirmation and clarity. I'm going to run over the key points because I feel like we really get going off on some rambly trails of thought on this. So I do feel like it's all relevant for you though, in a sense that these trails of thoughts that I'm tapping into are from frequencies that you're connected with. And I feel as if you guys are connecting with a new astral plane. There's a new astral plane that's been opened for you, and there's a lot of new downloads or information that you're going to be pulling from there, in a sense of this feels like a higher up plane, so it's like almost from a more unified perspective or unified consciousness space of perception. Does that make sense? Because there can be different perspectives that lay out reality in a complete state of understanding and connection, but some can hold more separations and some can be more one whole encompass. So you guys are moving up the planes and connecting to certain astral planes of frequency that hold perspectives and information and realization that are from a very high level of united consciousness. And you also hold many in all of them in between, you know. So they're all truth at different levels of frequency, and you have access to a lot of different vibrational levels of truths, and you kind of flick between them, or you've unlocked so many along your way. The key points for this reading were that you seem to be working with this divine feminine energy, and so you may have felt yourself emotionally cracked open to a deeper level. Your intuition, like your heart chakra, so your empathy, the amount of energy that you're picking up from those around you is at a heightened level. Not saying that you didn't pick up this before, you did, but it's that we can feel it more clearly now. We feel it more intensely now, or your heart chakra has been opened in a sense. We're feeling more complex energies, or there's a softening happening. This divine feminine energy that's working with you is not only working with you, but she's also working for others through you too, because how she's cracking you open, like you're a very soft, receptive, emotional person, and how she's cracking you open is the frequencies you bring to those who come into contact with you in your path. You really crack people open to their vulnerable aspect of self, and you really create a lot of healing in this way as well. So you are the divine feminine frequencies. This doesn't mean that that's all that you are. It's just a very significant key point on this level of plane of dimension that I've made it to right now. And like I say, no matter it's not gender specified, it's just energy. And I think you'll find, you guys, that you may find throughout your life that you have a lot of love to give to those around you. So much so because you are this divine feminine frequency. You are love, you are encouragement, you are healing, you are tuned into other people as well, you know. And I feel like because of this, you always have so much to give, and a lot of your cup is very full inside of yourself. And there's certain people you'll come across who physically don't have as much to pour out of their cup. And so maybe some of you are left in cycles sometimes feeling as if you never really get the same energy back that you have to give, and that's because you have more to give. Like, it's literally physically that, you guys, you naturally embody, your natural state is love, and you know that's all of our natural states, but you've really unlocked that to a deeper level. So it's almost as if you may be coming across soul tribe who have just as much to pour into your cup as you do into theirs as well, because it's not about pouring into cups. It's more that you pour into your own cup, and then your cup starts overflowing, and people can fill up their cups from the overflow of yours, right? You keep pouring into self, and your self is overflowing with love, and so you don't need to pour into anyone else. So you are this overflowing, and that's a very significant symbolism that we keep coming back around to, is this overflowing cup, which is the Ace of Cups, or the 10 of Cups is what we kept getting as well with the card. I'm going to put a picture on the screen of what card I keep getting in my mind's eye for that analogy, and I might put it back at the one before actually, so that it's on there with that. But Ace of Cups is a significant energy. I feel as if you're finding people or connecting with someone soon, or the soul tribe moving into your energy. It's kind of like they pour so much into their cup that you pour into your cup, and you kind of amplify each other's frequencies, and it's really beautiful give and take exchange of energy. This can also be like a passion or a job for you guys. Some of you might be stepping into new energies where you're actually getting what you feel, you're actually seeing a return on your energy in some type of way, whether this is from a person or a job or a situation or a passion or a hobby or I don't know, whatever this is about. It seems like you're getting a lot of energy returned to you at the minute. And yeah, so this divine feminine frequency is working with you extremely strongly right now, and so you may notice your energetic abilities are heightened. And also yeah, it's a very intense, powerful frequency, so she's really clearing out your chakra system in this way as well. And she does work with you in your sleep a lot too, so her frequencies almost clear out your body and your frequency. And this is what you do to others, you help purge. Your frequency helps clear out the chakra channels, and as you clear out, there'll be stored energies that move out, and as they move through you to move out, they can cause some effects like crying or sweating or chills or shakes or shivers, right? These different energies, the way that they're released out physically through our body as they move through you. So she seems to be doing that a lot. I think we've got everything out maybe for now, you guys. Yeah, it was a bit of a mishmash, but I do feel as if these energies were all relevant. So I'll roll the number for you guys. You got 7 or 17, star card, healing, hope, inspiration, connection to source, spirit, angels, and guides. 7-11 could be relevant as well. But 7, perseverance, spirituality, our connection to source, how we face challenge with that inner strength and inner compassion and self-love to ourselves. Yeah, actually, this is about there's a softening to your energy happening at the minute, maybe in certain ways, and you may be processing some complex energies or thoughts, but you know, when aren't you guys the deeper thinkers? But that's where I'm going to leave this channel reading a message for you, beautiful souls, and I will see and speak to you all on Thursday, if this is going up tomorrow. Anyway, it will be the day after, the day after the day after, whatever. I will see and speak to you all very soon, beautiful souls. Mwah.